Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Updated. This is episode 4, and I have got a whole load of stuff to talk to you about today. Before I do any of that, I hope you've been having a good week this week. I know last week was a bit of a weird situation where I didn't do as much streams, or it was just a weird schedule overall, but it will go back to the whole thing, and I know I haven't released much on YouTube either, but again, I'll be back to normal soon. In fact, this will be the last video that I hope to record and edit with the old software, so look forward to better edited videos in the future. Anyway, how about we get started with the upcoming news segment. I'll tell you what I hope to talk about today. So, how about we start off with Observer. System Redux is exclusive to next generation of consoles, so that includes PS5 and Xbox Series X. Deathloop delayed. I put as notes here, the shitfest that is EA Play, but I just want to talk about EA Play just for a sec. I want to talk about it for about 10 minutes and just complain about it. Not only just EA, but, you know, just do my usual routine in that regard. We've got Control Ultimate Edition controversy, I guess. That kind of, it may link in with the Observer System Redux thing that I want to do. Ubisoft only digital special editions for Series X or just Xbox consoles overall. That I've got a lot to dig into, and I hope you enjoy that. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has been delayed with a shift in management. Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad game reveals. And of course, I've got the usual streaming schedule that you can also look up on Twitter or my Instagram. You can find me either at SlothGamer12 or SlothGamer121. Either way, you know where I am. So how about we start to get into the first topic of today. When I say just announced, they've announced the Observer System Redux thing. So with this, I wanted to talk about this mainly because it's made by a very, very underrated developer, Blooper. They've created some very good stuff in the past with blending of horror elements with other stuff like sci-fi. Well, this is their sci-fi horror game sort of thing. Well, it's a cross between sci-fi and also detective. It was very weird, but kind of like a unique game in and of itself. So, in that regard, I can't wait for this to come out onto the next generation consoles and for more people to play it. Hopefully, it comes to Game Pass or something like that. I know Observer was or still is part of Game Pass at the moment. So, actually, screw that. If you haven't tried it already, please do it now. It's going to be worth the money, sort of thing. I played a few hours of it just to see how it is and see if I liked it. I think I really did enjoy it. I think when I didn't complete it mainly because of one reason. I was at the other time I was really busy with college work, and I kind of forgot about it until they announced this. So I might go back. In fact, I might do a stream on it. Hopefully, if I have time. I've got loads of streams coming up and coming in that regard. So yeah, so we've got the likes of. So I just want to talk to you about what the I've got their website up at the moment. Just just want you to let you know that we've got what is the gameplay or just the story focus sort of thing. So what is it about? So of course it's a cyberpunk world, shattered by plagues and wars. And because basically you become a neural detective, which is a detective, I guess. So it's basically you try to find killers through this neural network and try to rebuild crime scenes, something like the likes you might see from the Arkham series in that regard. So you can rebuild how this person died, and you can solve their murder in weird and wonderful ways. it's a very good game in that regard. It's got a good story as well. The only complaint I might have out of it is that even though I didn't play it fully to completion, the main character was a little bit boring. He was very much this raggedy white man with a deep voice that we get everywhere and everywhere in that regard. Don't get me wrong, I do like those occasionally, but in this case it was very, very underwhelming. The acting wasn't superb. That's why I was kind of reluctantly, oh, this is main character. Okay, that's the best we can do, really. But it's very much like LA, like noir-esque sort of storytelling in that regard. So that's built in a dystopian future in that regard. So yeah, this is built up, and basically, yeah, like I said, it's augmented for the next generation of consoles. It is the definitive version of apparently it was the cyberpunk stories in the game. I can't remember there being any more stories than just one, but hey, what do I know? I only played a few hours of it, and I do regret that. So I was looking at like what does this version bring other than just what does it bring to the next generation of consoles? So what it says on the website yet again is that Observer dives deeper into dystopian reality. Oh, so it's got brand new story content, not let alone just like your usual 8K textures or whatever they want to put it now, or even like you got better frame rate. Oh my god, the frame rate is horrendous in the first version. So I'm hoping for up to 60, and I'm hoping if they can at like 120 frames per second, silky smooth in that regard. But we'll see certainly. And it would be nice to see what sort of content they've got for us. So what sort of experience? Maybe because this kind of gives me hope as well. Maybe this is some sort of teasing of like a next game they're wanting to create in this universe, and I'm fully supporting on that manner because they are a very good team, and they do not only do the horror well, of course, because we've seen that in the Layers of Fear. We've seen that in the likes of what's it called? What's the most recent one? Blair Witch. There we go. We had that game. It was very good. It was worth it was good, scary. It wasn't the most terrifying game I've ever played, but still, it did somewhat scare me. But yeah, it's a very good team behind this game series, and I hope to have amazing stories out of them. I think they proved the amazing stories as well at the moment, anyway, with the likes of their newest game that they've announced, which was for the life of me was the Bishop. No, I don't say it right. I'll have to think about it later, but yeah, I can't wait for this. It was something as stupid as like they're not very creative titles. I will say that the Observer, the Blair Witch, but it's based on the movies, so you can't really change that. But still, their titles isn't what's important about their games. So I do hope you really do suggest. I do suggest picking up this game though. The Medium. Yep, there we go. Sorry, it came to mind now. Especially with everything that's going on, it's. I think it's not going to be as expensive as most AAA games in that manner. You will get your like games where it would only like you got £60 and it's just a whole load of bullshit and it's boring and it's just got no sense to it. With this, you're gonna pay like what? I'm guessing they're gonna make us pay like £40 or something. We get an experience as we did, or if this comes to Game Pass or something, I'm certainly gonna put. I personally think they're gonna put it onto next generation Game Pass. In that regard, but yeah, I really look forward to seeing what they can do with this game. But just keep an eye out because they are an up-and-coming studio that's definitely worth the overall the weight of their next games, especially the medium. It looks fantastic, and I wish them all the success in the world. Anyway, sorry about that, but we've got a few other stories we need to talk about. Some of which may take longer than 10 minutes, or I don't know. Let's see how long I can talk for on each thing. Oh yeah, this is definitely a 10-minute topic. Right. Start off with, if you didn't know, this is what we're talking about is Deathloop has been officially delayed till. Hold on, I need to. It's up. Oh dear. Oh dear. Here we go. I should have done this beforehand, but hey. Yeah, it's been delayed to like 21 or something. To the year, for next year basically. So, I'm curious to see because I was curious about the game at first, especially as it is a Bethesda title, and I've always enjoyed their titles. Even in fact, I've thought that Bethesda published titles, but I was more thinking Arcane is a very good developer. They've told amazing stories. They've created basically the BioShock of the generation, which was actually their previous game, which was God, names just escape me all the time. The Prey reboot. So I was curious about this game at first, but there's been a lot of bad news with this title. For me personally, it may be good news for other people out there, but for me there has been a lot of bad news, and it's kind of put me off the game. In fact, it has put me off the game. I have no interest in it, and then it's also got some consequences that I'll talk about later, like why I've kind of lost interest with it. So, let me just say that. When has it been delayed to? So it's been delayed to quarter 2 2021. So that's roughly. Isn't that August time or something? That's what I'm guessing anyway. So summertime esque. So. It'd be good. I guess. I want to love this game, of course I do, because it's got the amazing concept behind it. The concept is that you're an assassin trying to kill this certain targets before this one person stops you in that regard, and if you die, you redo the entire day. So every progress that you made, it's kind of blinked out of existence. But the problem was I love the idea of it, and it obviously it's got Arcane's combat, which is absolute beautiful. But then it's also got you can't deny Arcane's level design is it's far superior than. I'm as a developer myself, I am honestly so bloody jealous of their level design. It's perfect for whatever they build it for. Dishonored, I've loved that series to death. It has the most perfect level design in my personal opinion. It allows exploration. It allows experimentation of what you can do with the environment, and that is truly what a game should be. It should be about experimentation and exploration, and it's not even in an open world area. It's just one of those things where it's nice to look at and say, Deathloop has will continue that tradition of good level design, good gameplay, and most importantly, a good story. Well, that's what it seems to be, anyway. And the graphics look gorgeous as well. Again, Arcane is just spot on in that regard. But there's a few things that kind of pull me away from that. First of all, I've explained that it's been delayed, and I fully support the developers that it's been delayed, especially in this tough time with a certain thing happening in the world at the moment, because apparently YouTube doesn't allow me to talk about it. Oh wait, I'm not even monetized yet. I'm joking. I don't want to be monetized in that regard. But yeah, just there's a few things like the delay I've support the play, but it does as a gamer myself, or even a consumer of this product. It's like, all right, take the time, but in the meantime, I'm not interested. I've got other games to play. I've got in September, like I've mentioned this time and time again, you've got Pro Skater, you've got Kingdoms of Amalur that I have yet to play. I know that a few people will be disappointed in me for saying that, but still, it's nice to think that, yes, alright, it's going to get the breathing room that it properly deserves. But then the next thing put me off, like, fully. And that was the exclusivity that's coming, that the game is exclusive to PS5 and PC. As soon as they said that, I said, no, not in hell's chance am I ever going to play this game then. Well, not play this game, but just not. I'm not interested in it anymore. And that's not on this. Let me just say this right now. This is not on the side of Arcane. Arcane is just a developer. They are just there to say, right, here's the game that we created. Enjoy. But this is now pissed me off because Bethesda, for me, they've always had a good relationship with Microsoft and Sony. Oh no, actually, that's a little bit of a lie. They've had a bit of a rocky road in with Sony, especially with Bethesda Game Studios, like the main developer of it all. They've never had a good relationship with Sony. So it's kind of interesting to see that they did this exclusivity with the PS5 I'm guessing this is for an entire year, but at that point, I don't know is it worth going to the game at that point. Most of the spoilers would be out there, and any sort of story would just be ruined in that regard. And again, every year there's going to be a fuck ton of games every month in that regard. And I'd love to play them all, but some of them I do have to say, no, we're not doing this. And I will go back to older games, I'll do all this sort of stuff, but you do have to, as a person that doesn't have infinite wealth, and a person that doesn't have infinite time, you've got to say, right, this is the game I'm playing. And actually at the moment whatever I'm playing on stream, that's the game that I'm usually I'm playing the most recent in that regard. So honestly, if I'm not playing it on stream, then I'm probably not playing it in my pastime. Maybe I need to I need to do gaming outside the stream, but I'd rather work on YouTube or something in that regard. But yeah, it really pissed me off when they said it, because I don't know. Bethesda's always had I accept that they're not doing the Avengers thing of producing this game and then cutting off content just for the PS5. I'd rather have the whole game, and yeah. But it doesn't mean I can't, as an Xbox player, I don't have to be interested in the game. At that point, it's their decision, but for me, it's whatever. Do what you need to, I guess. But you just lost a lot of customers in that regard. Maybe I'll get on PC or something. But at the moment, I have literally no reason to care about it. So we'll see. We still, like I said, we do have Deathloop. It has been delayed too. roughly about August time. Well, the Q2 2021. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm interested in that point, and see if there's any actual games around. That's the real question in that regard. So, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what, in the comments below about what you possibly think of, like, Deathloop, or even the topic that I talked about beforehand, which was Blooper Team's next. No, it's just a reboot of the game, I'm guessing, because it didn't do well sales. The Observer didn't. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, and even if you played it, sort of thing, that'd be great to hear what your opinions on it. Love to get interaction from the comments. And I know, I think it was Punja TV. Yeah, if you're listening, you can automatically get that like on your comment. I know you're listening in that regard. So, about to move on to the next topic. Sorry about everything that's going on. Just got back from my dad's. So now we need to talk about the shitfest that is EA Play. I really need to get better wording for my notes. But yeah, EA Play. This have kind of annoyed me in that regard, where the best way to describe it is that EA Play is EA's answer to, surprisingly, Game Pass. But they've already had that kind of subscription service. This is actually their third subscription service. If you think about it, it's technically you've got 2 on console now, because this is coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So if you're a PC, you've got and you like EA games for whatever reason, you like them so much you want to pay 3 subscription services. If you're into sports or anything like that, then yeah, god damn. So in that regard, it's just EA is being greedy as fucking usual about their fucking whole thing at the moment. I just don't get it. It's once you have with Microsoft, you've got 2 subscription services. Technically, you've got 3 subscription services, but you can't. In fact, you only need one of them. Right. For Microsoft, you've got Game Pass, you've got Xbox Live Gold, and then you've got Ultimate, which combines the 2. So you technically only need one of them. And is especially for Game Pass and Xbox Live together, it's worth the money. So I advise you do that in that regard, especially as you're getting new services every month or so. We'll see what happens in that matter. But with EA, you get a subscription service with Microsoft, you actually have a purpose with it when you're buying a subscription service. With EA, you've got you've got a subscription service that gives you games, which is perfect, yeah. So their answer to Game Pass, and then you've got another one, which is another thing, another solution for their Game Pass, and then you've got another one exclusive to PC, which is, I don't know, I even looked at it. I know there's just 3 of them. So I'm actually curious to see what they say about EA Play, whatever it is. Because I know originally EA Play was just the name of their event that they do every year in that regard, for the E3 or anything like that. But I think with this subscription service, there we go. Sorry, I'm just getting out the website now. I know I should have done that beforehand, but I am not well prepared today. So look forward to my stumbling. So I'm going to turn the monitor, if you hear that. Madden 21. Ugh, sports games. Yeah. So what is EA Play? EA Play is the ultimate game destination for anyone who loves EA titles. I like BioWare, but even that's becoming a deteriorating factor right now. Membership gives you more of your favourite EA games, more rewards, and more exclusive trials and more discounts. So basically, EA Access, which is allows you to play all of their older titles through a vault, and then you got the. This is horrendous. This is just horrendously greedy. With all the monetization, and then 3 separate subscription services that do the exact same thing. Nah, this ain't worth it. This is horrendous. EA, just get a grip of yourself right now. Let's see. Reward your dedication. Unlock exclusive rewards and member-only content. Bull fucking shit. Cut straight out the game if I were to have a guess. Try something new. Play select new release EA games for up to 10 hours. Again, you can do this with EA Access. Oh my god. You have created the same service and just... I think you've renamed it, which was perfectly acceptable in that manner, but this you said this to us as a new subscription service, not a rebranding of EA Access. So here we go. There's always more way to play. Get instant access to a collection of EA's best loved games. Yep, we've said that. The Vault, there's known it for. Get more for less. Save 10% on EA digital purchases from games DLC. Okay, Game Pass basically. In fact, you get like a 15% discount on Game Pass. No, you get 10%. Yeah, I'm just trying to overreach there. It's on Xbox, PlayStation, and on their very own website in that regard, or their own launcher. So is it EA? I can't remember what it's called. As long as I kind of tune out, and whenever someone says EA, I'm like, what have they done now? Have they broken law? Can we get them for it? But no, this is horrendous. EA, why have you got 3 separate subscription services on top of the numerous amount of live services titles? Where is everything going in that regard? In fact, I could even easily have a go at you just about stuff like destroying and closing down studios for no apparent reason. I'm still miffed off of you about like the likes of what's it called? They did the Dead Space, and they did Visceral Studios, mate. You took them away from me. You took one of a very good horror studio, and then you made them do something completely unlike what they've ever done before, which is first-person shooter. And by that point, most of the staff has left. So any competent games that they could have done is now, any competent staff is now left, because they know their worth in that regard. They know they won't have to put up with that bullshit. And when they're asked to decide and create a new Star Wars game with the likes of Amy Hennig and all that other stuff, you've lost most of the most talented people on your fucking staff. And then what do? Because it's not a live service title, you fucking shut down the studio because it's not doing what you want. You absolute prick of a studio. Of a publisher, sorry. God. I honestly, I personally believe that we do need to take the likes of most studios away from EA. I think I could happily leave the likes of DICE to EA, because they're good under them, but in fact they deserve each other in that regard. I like that some of their games, I don't like other of their games. BioWare we need to take back by force. We need to get the talent back into that studio, inject it with some new colour. But man, I could easily mock EA for days upon days. But I think we need to go on to our next subjects before I do the same thing I did with Activision and have a complete meltdown and I go, right. But it is getting late in the evening and I do live with other people, so I can't really shout at the moment. So we've still got some. I'm wondering what the next topic is. I can't remember what it was. Control Ultimate Edition. Oh boy! I thought this was going to be a one and done thing. I heard about it. Like I considered putting it on the topic of last week's thing, but I thought this is right. 505 is a I think it's subsidiary of 2K, if I remember correctly. But so we already know they could be quite greedy in that regard. But I never expected them to do this shit. 2K loves to take the piss out of their customers. Apparently 505 is following that fucking tradition. 505 is basically... Wait, hold on, I just realised, because they've got like many different publishers under their wing now, I'm guessing, because they've got 505, they've got, what's it called? Private Division. I don't get it. Maybe, am I the only one that doesn't get it? This is a bit very strange to me. Anyway, so the whole story is that Control is going to be released for the next generation of consoles. And unlike the Blooper team, where they've stated that the next generation, if they've said that yes, we want you to rebuy the game, which is sucky, don't get me wrong. Even I admit that it's kind of shitty when they don't give you a free path. But as compensation for like buying the next generation of game, you get more content with it. So that's why that's why I said earlier in this episode, I said why you should buy it, why you should really consider buying this game. And guess what? Control came out like last week or something and said, yeah, we are going to create a new edition for the next generation of consoles that will upgrade and fix bugs and all that other stuff. So the usual sort of, like, I would say they're very much similar to what we had like this generation with all the upgrades. So it's just basically your pixel count has been increased. Your frames per second has been slightly increased. So in that regard, it's like, oh, that's nice and dandy, but do I get anything out of it? With observation, as I mentioned before, observer, sorry. We get new story content, which is the best thing that a publisher can do, or even the developer can do, to really reach out and say this is the product that you want to go and buy on this particular day. So Blooper team did a fantastic job of saying that and even giving us a reason to even give this game a try. Control did a little bit something different in that regard. It was, different. So they said that the next edition of Control that they're making is the Ultimate Edition. Now, what does this include? It includes the 2 DLCs that they have worked on and or being released. So we know that the Alan Wake expansion. I know it's not. It's called the I can't remember, something All World Entering or something event. No. I can't remember. There's AWE sort of thing. It's DLC that's coming out. Plus the previous DLC, which I can't remember the name of right now. Again, really bad with names. So that is everything that's coming into the Control Ultimate Edition. Plus, it's £20 cheaper 20 quid, so it could be £40 or $40 or whatever you want to put it. So look out for that. Should be but the problem was, like, they said to us, right, that is the only way you're gonna get next generation or a support, basically. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sucky. We can't play it through like backwards compatibility. And at first we were like, no, you can't do that. They reversed their mind and said, yes, you can play through backwards compatibility, but even on their website, it was saying, like, from one paragraph, it was saying you can play on your backwards compatibility, and is this the only way to play Control on the next generation consoles? Yes, this is the only way to play Control on the next generation console. Like, you just explained here 2 ways to get it. You can either play Control, you can either buy the Ultimate Edition, or you can you play it through backwards compatibility. And then, if we're being honest here, why would you not just not get the Ultimate Edition play through backwards compatibility and just give us the problem is, with Control, it didn't sell that well. Not at all. It sold horrendously, in fact. It didn't even become the top 20 games of that month that it came out, when it should have easily been in the top 10. Don't get me wrong, it was a fan-fucking-tastic game. Remedy really knocked it out of the park with that game. I played again, this is one of my shameful moments of my gaming career. Yeah, I have played it for about 10-15 hours. Again, I got kind of caught up with, like, studies with college and all that, so I couldn't complete it. And this will be another game that I'll play on stream once I do loads of other games. So I may not even get to it, in that fact, because especially as they've said that you can't get the next generation, the better version of Control, basically. Even if you own the base game and the DLCs with it, which is technically more expensive because the base game is $60, the season pass is about $20, and the Ultimate Edition is $40. It's very strange in that regard. So I don't understand 505's judgment on that. It's like, if you've got the season pass, and if you've got the base game, I'd honestly say, yeah, that's the perfect way to give you that. In fact, like, there's companies out there like Microsoft, even fucking EA's been giving free paths, free next gen upgrades, versus 505 like sticking their heels into the ground and saying, no, we're not doing it. We're going to be the odd ones out. So it was like, first of all, this makes no sense, business or even logically. Why would you want to shoot yourself in the foot when most of your business can be seen as publicity? You need to sell your product, and giving us a reason to hate your product isn't a good thing. It's like saying to, like, a person going, "Do you want the sandwich?" Sure. It's cheaper than the most expensive sandwich, right? You pay like £4 for that sandwich. It's only £3, right? I'm like, okay. What's wrong with it then? It's got everything that you need. It's just, we want you to buy the same sandwich over again. It's like, really? Why do you want to do this to me? Because we want more money out of you. Why don't I use a sandwich as an analogy? Am I that hungry for a sandwich? I don't know. But still, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it's an outright Mickey take at this point. And I don't think that Remedy had any decision in that matter, should I say. So I wouldn't go after the devs in that matter, because I need to preference this right now. If you go after devs, you're idiots. You're absolute fucking idiots. I've seen a couple of them go after the smaller people, and they shouldn't be doing. If you wanted to go for like who actually caused this, go attack 505 on Twitter, or write him a letter or saying this is idiotic. Here's a better path. We are willing to do this. Explain to them we are willing to buy the season pass and the base game, and it's going to be more expensive in that regard. So it's like, oh fuck, we're attacked by a fly. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it seems impossibly difficult just to truly understand their reasoning behind everything. But anyway, enough about Control. Idiots will be idiots, I guess. We need to talk about the next subject. I think, if I remember correctly, it's talking about a very important subject, which I would love to talk about. Oh no. It wasn't. That's the next one. This one I'm about to talk about is Ubisoft being complete dicks, or PS5 being a complete knob jockey and throwing its fucking large, like small ass dick around again. I don't know. This is another weird exclusivity, I guess. It's so weird. So I only actually caught this because I follow like Shinobi on Twitter. So I get like a lot of news from him saying like this is what's happened and all that other stuff. So with this one, it was like, oh yeah, Ubisoft has just announced that Xbox Series X versions of it will only be digital only. You get the game code, but you won't get a disc. For PS5, you can get the disc. I'm like, it don't make sense. Unless they know something that we don't, which is entirely possible, but it makes no sense. It's like Control. This has no. When you're buying a really expensive version of a game, you don't want to just basically. You just don't want to outright say, "Yep, this is what we're going to do," and we're going to screw all over our people that spend a lot of money on a particular game. I think they said it was for the Watch Dogs Legion. They said this was really affecting it for, because especially as it's coming out in like October time, which is woohoo! It's good. Can't wait for it. Especially as it's now set in my hometown, not hometown, but like home city or home country of London. So I'm looking forward to like, just exploring it and everything like that. But it's just so strange that Ubisoft wants to kind of cut out the physical editions of games from a certain. It's not like it's done it on both of them. It's just done it on the Series X, and it's like, first of all, if you're making the consumer pay a bigger fee for the same game, you would have given more, and they said the collector's edition will include more. But you can't also go give them like, how do you want to play this? Do you want to have a digital edition, or do you want to have a physical edition? And most of the time they're going to say, yeah, we want a disc with it, because they want to go, oh, here you go, here's my money and all that sort of stuff, and here's what I'm holding in my hand right now. Most of the people that actually do buy like the more expensive versions of games that comes with like toys and all that other stuff, but they'd rather have something solid that they can have in their hand, so a disc that they can just put in and play whenever they want. For me, this doesn't really affect me because I don't usually buy really expensive editions of the game. I usually just buy the base, if not like the likes from what was it? You'd usually get likes from yes, but not 11 o'clock now. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, you would. It's the one thing I would say. Just I don't want to pay 160 quid, and then if I wanted a physical I want a physical disc. I kind of want to have that with me. I'm like, someone said to me at the store and goes, "Yeah, you know that edition you paid for? Yeah, we actually changed that from a digital edition to a physical edition." I'm like, that helps me not at all. In fact, I game share with a friend of mine, so I was like, this is horrendously bad. Why do you do this to me? Why? Tell me why. But it just proves that I think Ubisoft is getting out of touch with their customers with this sort of act. You don't do it, especially when like the likes of PS5 is getting a physical edition and the Xbox Series X isn't. As I mentioned before, this could be something like that with Deathloop. They did have mentioned that they are going to buy like tons of exclusives, and maybe this is one of their weirdest acquisitions, as I guess I could call it. So like, yeah, instead of buying the game, which Ubisoft would never say, they're like, no, we got enough user base on the Xbox family of devices to say, yeah, this ain't worth it. And in that regard, I think that's what should have also happened with Deathloop. In fact, there has literally been a survey done by their internal staff, internal thing, to suggest that they do much better on the likes of Xbox than they do on PlayStation. And it's one of those things where, like, really, you're going to risk your game? And with this, it's just so stupidly like, oh, let's get my dick out and go, right, I'm gonna stop Xbox from doing this. And it's like, I don't know, maybe this is PlayStation doing this, but this is Ubisoft, which genuinely confuses me quite a lot of the time with their stupidity marketing techniques. And don't get me wrong, some of them are cool. Don't get me wrong, I would never deny that. But it's generally something to think about, where it's like, I don't know. Doesn't make sense in my mind. But still, they do have like a couple of games coming out like between September and December. That's helpful, isn't it? 4 months. But usually it wouldn't be fair. Ubisoft would never even consider releasing a game in the likes of December. I don't think they would. I know that they've got Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs coming out, like one in October, one in November. And weirdly enough, they really want to. They really think they've got the biggest balls on the playground, I swear, because they put it literally like on the same week as fucking Cyberpunk 2077. No offense, I love Assassin's Creed to death. I love the lore, I love the characters, and all that other stuff. But when you're comparing the likes of Assassin's Creed, which you've seen tons and tons and tons before, and you've also got stuff like what was it? You had the stuff of this Cyberpunk 2077, which is something brand spanking new, something we've never seen before in our lives, and it genuinely intrigues a lot of people. This is also a fully fledged RPG made by a company that has done right. Let me set this record straight now. In my opinion, their last game was their best game. So, and I personally think it's a very good game. Don't get me wrong, but it will never be Dragon Age Inquisition in my mind. In my mind, let me just say that right now. But it's just, I think with the Ubisoft, they just need to need to cater everything towards a fucking purpose, because everything just feels like shit sandwiches in that manner. You open the packet, like your plastic wrapping, however you want to put it, or in the box or something, and as you're about to bite into the sandwich sort of thing, you kind of realised this isn't like chocolate spread that you've put on your pieces of bread to say that, oh yeah, it's nice, it's been a nice day, innit? It's a bit sweet. Something sweet to start off your day, Reese. Huh? No. What's actually going to happen is that it's going to give you a stomachache because you kind of realise that you're allergic to not allergic, but your body can't handle breakfast. So in that manner, like, oh, okay. Actually, we'll kind of move away from it, but we've also got some other topics to talk about. I know it's going to be as long as the last one, I think. This is actually kind of an important one, isn't it? The Bloodlines 2, I think. Hold on, let me just check. Yes, this is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So the first piece of news is that, yes, we have got confirmation that the Bloodlines 2 has been delayed until 2021. So no, like, specific release date of, like, quarter or a specific day where, like, something like, if I was to have to guess when this might be released, I'd say September next year now. But only because of some other news that we got with it. So we heard that the developers kind of got screwed over slightly because they got rid of two very key members of the team. So these two key members were the creative director, which controls the entire project, and then they also got rid of the the story writer. Let me just say right now, yes, we, especially in the development, they've said that it's currently at. They said they probably won't need a story developer. They've got the story that they need. They've got everything like that. So, in some way, I can understand why they did it. In other ways, I don't. Especially as this is the person that apparently is in. He kind of talked about everything in a blog post or something. That he said he was the glue. He was the glue that what made Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 happen. He thought of the ideas, he thought of the story. He didn't think of like the gameplay because that's not his sort of area of expertise. But he did think quite a lot of this game. In fact, I would even say that this may be his baby in that regard. He is creating stuff that he created this world that he's very passionate about and that he loves and all that other stuff. Ugh, disgusting, isn't it? Passion here. No, but it was very weird about the whole thing because hold on, yeah, again I've got to do some inappropriate stuff and do some research about this yet again, but it was very weird from how it was described to me. It was almost like they got rid of him and he doesn't even know why they got rid of him, or even the creative director. So hold on, I'm genuinely trying to get up the thing right now, and also trying to stay close to the microphone, so I can actually pick up my speech. Hold on. Lead writer. There you go. So technically, I think it's the head of it. The head of it. Word on race. The likes of, so the publisher, which is something like Panasonic or something. Hold on, Paradox Interactive. They've created a few good games, to be fair, or at least they published a few good games. I should mention that they are a publisher and not a developer. But the Hardsuit developer has had like certain statements to say that this is the reason why. So actually, how about I read that? But so new message. Here we go. New methods. Method 1. I've got to put my fucking date of birth. What kind of bullshit is this? This day, this month, this year. Not actually this year. A bit weird, wasn't it? So I'm just not going to tell you my age. Ha 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 ha. So yes, Paradox Interactive and Hardsuit have some important updates to share today. We've recently shared that we were making some organisational changes to the Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 team. As promised, we will now give an update on what that means. Lead narrative director Brian Mitasoda, so this is the person that I talked about that kind of started everything in that regard, and creative director Kai Clooney. Sorry if I've ruined your name, butchered your names, guys. Are no longer part of the team at Hardsuit Labs. This was a joint decision made by the leadership of Hardsuit Labs and Paradox Interactive, aka Paradox was like, they didn't like the game where it was headed, which now they can't change, or that this was just because they just wanted to get rid of him in that regard. We appreciate and value the contributions of Brian and Kai, whatever, which were instrumental in establishing the game's storyline and dark tone, and have helped to ensure that we are making a true successor to the iconic Bloodlines. We wish them both best to their future endeavours. They've said no reason why they kicked him out. If this was some sort of legal matter, they would say it. They'd say we are considering like further legal matter, but this is so weird. It's even though I was reading, like I said, there was a blog post like this saying like I had no idea this was happening. All of a sudden they said come into the office and said yeah we're letting you go. Like why was that? There's no explanation. There wasn't a point where it was you've done something bad, and maybe he has done something bad. Maybe we don't know the whole story in that regard. But with publishers, you can't, especially with like stupid ones such as Paradox at the moment. I just don't know. I don't know what to think about this, especially as we don't know the whole story. But I'd love to hear you like what you may think may have happened to him, or just to hear what you. If you're, I'm personally now a little bit. If this was like any early in development, I would be honestly scared for this game. But they can't change it, not really. All they have to really do is bug testing, and there's a few improvements around the board. So stuff that can be easily done in a couple of months. Fixing up textures that maybe just looked a bit drab or anything like that. But there's no actual stuff that will basically change forever from the game itself. They did also announce like who's taking over. Alexandra, I'm gonna butcher his name as well. Madrika has come abroad as creative consultant, filling the creative director role for Bloodlines 2, and will help us in the final stages of development. Alexandra is committed to following the vision that is in place and successfully bringing Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines 2 to the fans. So we've got a few information, like he's worked in he's worked in the industry for about 20 years. He's worked on games such as Warhammer 40k and Far Cry, and this is his next job. But it's interesting to I will say this: it's kind of interesting that they like I said, to prove to further prove my point that this isn't as bad as some people were willing to believe, they didn't replace the writing team. If they did announce a new person coming to the thing, then I would generally say start worrying. Mainly because it's one of those things where it's you just got to think about maybe they're starting over from like different characters, from a different story, and this has already been heavy development for years. And if they change it any more than they actually do it, then yeah, this could be stuck in development hell. And no one wants that. No one absolutely wants that. So we have got some one final topics, I guess, to talk about before I go into a streaming schedule and just end off the episode here. I want to talk about I think it's actually came up. I've actually watched them today, as of the time of recording. So on Sunday, so on Sunday, roughly about like 1:00 in the afternoon, I did it. So I saw the reactions and just wanted not reactions. I mean, I just wanted to know what my what everyone thought of the two new games that are coming out from Warner Bros. That they've basically announced. So they've announced two new games. One that I've talked about previously on the show, which was Rocksteady's game, which was Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Cool title. Which is, interestingly, it's part of the Arkhamverse. So if you didn't know about the Arkhamverse, so if you haven't played Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, my Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight, they are right. They've all got strength and they've all got weaknesses, but it's still a very interesting world to explore. And then we get this new game which is set in the same universe, so most likely, sadly, Batman is dead. Or maybe something's happened. They've revealed himself to be back into the world. Because we did hear his name, like what's her name? Harley Quinn is going after for revenge in that manner. So the overall gameplay is that you've got 4 different characters. You've got the likes of Harley Quinn. You've got Deadshot. You've got the most stupid villain ever created by mankind, which is Boomerang Man. I joke you not, that is a real thing. And then you've got the likes of Shark King, I think he's called. It's a great big living great white shark almost. And honestly, you've got these 4 fantastic characters that work well with each other. You've got the Suicide Squad lore, which let me be straight right now. Suicide Squad lore is very interesting. You've got bad guys being forced to square up against other bad guys. Or in this case, we've got the Suicide Squad against Superman. A bad Superman willing to kill. We saw in the trailer, we see him killing an innocent pilot. And something has definitely happened to the city of I can't remember the city name. I know it's Superman's hometown. So, and I know a lot of people were like, I want a Superman game. I want it now. I'm like, no, I don't want a Superman game. That just be you're gonna get a Superman game. It's always gonna go wrong. It's always gonna go wrong, no matter what. So I personally would never make them say, let's create a let's create a Superman game. No way in fucking hell. We saw in the Xbox 360 days what a passionate developer was trying to create, and it didn't work out. And we won't even speak about Superman 64. But yeah, there was also another game that was announced that is Batman related, but it isn't set in the Arkham universe. This is a brand new universe that I am really interested in, even though the developer has had a few bad games to the name, including one of my least favourite Arkham games, Arkham Origins. As I said before, I did not like that game. I wanted to like the story, but it went in a direction, because I won't spoil anything, but it went in a direction that I really, really wish that they never even tried doing that shit. But yeah, what their next game is Gotham Knights, which is basic premise is that Batman has supposedly dead. So that means that an initiative has been awoken, meaning that these bad guys are coming out of the woodwork now, and we've got the likes of Mr. Freeze. We even know that the Court of Owls will even play a part in it, which I can't wait for. And we'll most likely have a go at Ra's al Ghul and his minions. I like to have a go at that. But I love to see. This is kind of a new. This is a brand new Batman game. It's got similarities to the likes of the combat system we see in the Arkham series, but it is an RPG. So let me just say that right now. And when I say an RPG, from what we can tell at the moment, this is a light RPG. It's got enemy levels, and you've also got damage counters, which I know a lot of people dislike because it just reminds them of the likes of Destiny and everything like that. But it does have a co-op element that you can play with like an extra friend or something, so one or two. And as soon as they said this is going to have co-op inside it, people started going, oh my god, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? People, calm down. Nothing's going to happen. All that's really going to happen is that we're going to get a game that you can play with everybody if you wanted to. But this is very much, I think, this is going to be a first person. This is going to be a single player title mainly, but with a co-op element. Go wrong if you want to do it with that. I think this is the best option in that regard. It is an open world game, so an RPG open world game. We do get to play as 4 different characters. We got the likes of Red Hood, so Jason Todd, Damian Wayne as what's his name? Robin? No, that's another thing. Damian Wayne is Nighthawk, and again, as I just said, we've got Robin and we've got Batgirl, which is very strange because we know how Batgirl kind of doesn't exist. If you even read the comics or even if you play the Arkham games, you know how she becomes a different character in that regard. But still, I'm personally looking forward to it because it looks very fun. It looks different. In that regard, it looks massively different to anything that I saw in the Arkham games, which is good because as much as everyone was like, I want another Batman game, like we were grateful to have 4 games that have Batman, but let's give the other characters time to shine. Give these Gotham Knights a time to shine. And of course we've got Rocksteady's game, which is the Suicide Squad, which I hope they do a better, because it's basically a lives as service game. No, whatever it's called. I'm just late at night. Okay, leave me alone. Games as service. But I hope it does, like, it fixes the mistakes that it's clearly that the Avengers game is obviously going to have. So it's going to have a big player base at first, and then just dwindle over time. That's my predictions anyway. Anyway, I should probably start ending this. But before I end everything, I do need to talk to you about the streaming schedule. I will be updating it through Twitter and Instagram, just in case. But I'll tell you it now. So Monday, so the date this episode comes out, I will be streaming Apex, and the title will be Vault Dominates. So I'll be playing around with the Vault a lot more. Of course, Tuesday we've got Darksiders, which is part 6 of the series. Wednesday we've got Grounded, Death to Spiders. We are going to eventually kill a spider. Because I'll also show you what I've been working on in Grounded anyway. Thursday we've got, again, Darksiders. And then Friday we got Apex yet again, but Apex is fortified. Cool titles, right? I like having cool titles. I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, that's everything I have for you, and you have officially been updated. I love saying it. It's like my new favourite phrase. So yes, thank you so much for watching, or even listening, or whatever. You've probably got some, literally the mine of the Minecraft gameplay in the background. If I did anything like I did in the other 2 series. So, or if I may even build in this like hour and 15 minutes worth. I haven't done it yet. I'm recording this first, and then I'm playing the game. Yeah. Look forward to more episodes of this. I'll update you during the week, seeing if when I've got new videos coming out and better edited videos, all that other stuff. So yes, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button. And if you enjoy the content that I create, it would really help me out if you could subscribe. And yes, I'd love to hear your opinions on all the stuff you heard on today. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Updated. Bye bye!